Hello and a warm welcome to another edition of To The Point. On the show this week, Parliamentary Party Leader from TRINAMOOL Congress, Derek O'Brien. Welcome, Derek.
Thank you for having me.
Derek, to begin with, from your own state, West Bengal, the hill town of Darjeeling is facing a lot of unrest. Are the images which are coming, which we see on TV, they're completely incongruous, and what is really happening there?
Well, for more than 3 decades, no political leader, even a chief minister of Bengal, could even visit Darjeeling or even tried to visit Darjeeling. Mamta Di has made, the chief minister of Bengal, has made dozens of trips to Darjeeling. There's been loads of development. I'll come to the development later. And then democracy has returned to the hills. And worse still, for those who are agitating, TRINAMOOL Congress in the recent elections, municipal elections, we won Mirik. This is a historical win. So the people of the hills, they have chosen development and Mamta Di over anything else.
What we are witnessing in Darjeeling, is it a political battle of supremacy, or has it something to do or some kind of a connect with the imposition of the Bengali language?
There is no imposition. There is nothing compulsory. The chief minister has made it very, very clear. Bengal is following a 3-language formula. That means you can choose Bengali as one of the 3 languages, and in the hills, it is a 4th optional language. She's made it absolutely clear. So that statement was made by her in Mirik. The bigger issue is what kind of development has happened in Bengal, and the local leaders of the Gorkhaland movement, they cannot handle development because the people have accepted this development. Uttarakanya, now you don't have to come to Calcutta because now the North Bengal has their own secretariat. 14 lakh people have got rice at 2 rupees a kg. There is a medical college coming up at Kurseong. There are fair price medicine shops. There are cycles given to about 25,000 children. Nothing is going to make Mamta Di, a person like Mamta Di, scared. She will go back to Darjeeling. This is not about any ego. This is about bringing peace and development. Like the rest of Bengal, we want to bring peace and development in Bengal. So, and asking for another state. Now that is completely an absurd argument because there is one parliamentary assembly, one parliamentary constituency and 2 assembly constituencies. So the centre, who I suspect may be playing their own games, now if you look at that demand, there's no way which Bengal will be divided. The question doesn't rise because if you look at that demand, then there are 60 other demands from other parts of the country.
But all this development which you are citing, was it done through the development boards, the 15 development boards which were formed, and that was the source of the unease between Mamata Banerjee government and the Gorkha Mukti Morcha?
Be it the Bhutias, be it the Lepchas, all these development boards. You know, there are some 2 other issues which is unwritten. The elections, the GT are coming on the 17th of June.
Right.
Now, the people
so that's the cause of the unrest.
Of course. And number 2, there is a serious audit report which is happening. So, was all the money used in the correct way? So, I think there are 2. One is the fear of elections because they know that TRINAMOOL have the support of the people. And number 2, which is also very important, they are really scared of this audit because we want a transparent audit.
But how, I really don't know how to read Gorkha Mukti Morcha's statements when they say that when you have a autonomous territorial council which is already in place to administer the things which are there in the hill town, why is the state government interfering into the affairs?
It is certainly not interference. But if they think, it was historic, after 40 years, there was a cabinet meeting. Mamta Di's entire cabinet met in Darjeeling. You cannot the autonomy. I think what is really the problem? On one end, what is Mamta Di offering you? Mamta Di is offering, and the Bengal government are offering, peace and development. And what is on offer on the other side? Disruption. This is the main tourist season. Who voted in Mirik? I mean, you know, if you live in Bengal and if you see how historic this decision is, we won Mirik, but that's not the point. The bigger point is the people in North Bengal, people in the hills, everyone, it's like like an elder brother and a younger brother concept. But you have to be within a framework. And what is really happening now, even in the language issue, once it was clarified, what is the big deal? They're looking for issues. But I go back to that. The audit and the election.
But if
democracy has returned to North Bengal and the hills especially, thanks to Mamta Di.
But language issue already was in media when Mamta Di went for a cabinet meeting. So what was the real need to have a cabinet meeting in Darjeeling when already the situation was so sensitive?
I think it's not about not having a cabinet meeting. You know, you're the chief minister of the state. You want to have a cabinet meeting in Darjeeling because the message to the people is what? At one end you say we are different. We are very much part. It's all one state. And there's no question Bengal will never ever be divided, not for two reasons. The people of Bengal don't want it, including the people of the hills of Bengal. Nobody wants it. So this is a game of vested interests being played by a few people, and you watch what happens now.
But when you say vested interests, who are the stakeholders in this vested interest?
There are two kinds of stakeholders. One is the obvious, and two is you find out who their alliance partners are at the center. So who's playing the dirty games to divert all the attention from what's happening in Madhya Pradesh when farmers are dying. These are the big issues. The BJP need to answer some big issues. Where are the jobs? Jobs, jobs, jobs. What is happening to the economy after demonetization? What is happening to farmers? These are the big issues.
I was reading a column somewhere which said that, you know, in 1972 there was a cabinet meeting which was held, which was to finish the Naxalites. Now Mamta Didi wants to finish off the Gorkha Mukti Morcha. Is that a fair perception?
Not at all. We are with the people. We are with the people. Mamta Didi is with the people, and she needs no certificates, and nothing is going to scare her from going back to Darjeeling.
Talking to you about the president election, which is the nominations will be starting soon. How prepared is the opposition? Because why I'm asking you how prepared is the opposition is because when demonetization was announced, Mamta Didi emerged as the only front runner. She raised the voice against the government, against the decision which came out, and she seemed to be a front runner at that time of, you know, becoming a leader of the opposition, the entire opposition flank.
We've already had a lot of coordination in Parliament. There's no doubt about it. You have seen now with the recent meetings which were held, one called by the Congress president, which Mamta Didi attended, the left, even everybody attended. So there are about 17, 18 parties there. So that's the second one. We had Mr. Karunanidhi's 94th birthday in Chennai. Again, that was this afternoon. This afternoon, the leaders like Sonia Gandhi, Mamta Banerjee, and Lalu Yadav and Nitish Kumar, they have made a committee. 6 of us. In fact, this afternoon only we had our first meeting of this committee, which was to look at the names for the opposition candidate. So the first thing, let me make it absolutely clear, is that the opposition will not announce any name of a candidate till the government announces. That's the government's responsibility. So the government first has to announce a candidate. Number two, if that candidate is seen and there's a consensus built around the candidate, what's the problem? There's no problem. Now, after that, if it's not a consensus, so the opposition wants a consensus.
How difficult is the issue of arriving at a consensus once you have ego issues?
Why are you talking about the opposition? How difficult it is for the BJP to arrive at a candidate?
BJP will announce. BJP will announce in the coming days. So let them announce.
We'll have no problem. Listen to me, we will have...
We've always seen in the past, it's almost like a khichdi when you have so many leaders. You name them and the leaders are there.
You see on one side you have a khichdi, which you call a khichdi, which is not a khichdi. Okay. Actually, it is a very nice, tasty dish rather than one dish which has been cooked only by two people and they care about nobody else in their own party. I will not mention the names of the two people, but Mr. A and I can't say Mr. B, but these two people from one particular party, that's the BJP, only know because the only two of them are in the kitchen.
But you dismiss all ego battles, a clash of personalities as far as the opposition
Let me give you some examples. Who was at the meeting in Delhi, which was last month? The Congress president was there. The All India TRINAMOOL Congress president was there. Now, between the All India TRINAMOOL Congress president's chairperson and the Congress president, they have 80 MPs with them. Okay, from UP. Was Samajwadi Party Akhilesh Yadav there? He was there. Was Behenji Mayawati? Was there. Was the DMK there? They were there. The left was also there. Okay, so the JDU was there. The RJD was there.
I agree to what all you're saying, but somewhere, don't you think that this is a kind of a symbolic fight which the opposition is putting up?
See, this is not about presidential election. This is a bigger issue. What is the bigger issue?
The
bigger issues are this. I'll tell you what are the big issues where the opposition is completely united. So it's not about one presidential candidate or a vice presidential candidate.
Okay.
These are the big issues which the opposition is united on. Let me tell you these issues. The first issue is 1A, B, C. Jobs, jobs, jobs. There are no jobs. Number 2, the communal and the social fabric of this country. You know, the unity and diversity. It's not a cliche. That's the concept of this country. Why are we moving into a rule of majoritarianism? Third one, which is equally important, the freedom of the media. People are even scared to say anything. Number 4, what's going on with the farmers?
So am I to assume, before I take a break, am I to assume that on the basis of these 3-4 issues which you have just cited, are we seeing an indication of a grand alliance which will stand up for 2019, which will be all versus Narendra Modi?
You see, again, you're going back to people and all versus somebody. You're a journalist, so it's your prerogative to put whatever phrases, decorative phrases you want to, to coin all these terms which you can coin. That's your freedom of expression, FOE.
But I'll have to take a break here. When we return, we talk to Derek O'Brien about the challenges faced by the Mamata Banerjee government. Back in a moment. Welcome back. You're watching To The Point with Parliamentary Party Leader of TRINAMOOL Congress Party, Derek O'Brien. The kind of perception which has been built up for Mamata Banerjee government for the past 2 years, especially after the Narada and the Sarada chit fund scam came up, do you feel that the party somewhere has lost the perception battle because people feel that it's a corrupt party which has duped thousands of investors in West Bengal?
You know, sometimes I think this Delhi, the air you breathe in Delhi, in this Lutyens Delhi, makes intelligent people like you ask these not so intelligent questions. What are you talking about perception battle? The 2016 elections, there was the Narada issue was all over. The so-called Narada scam issue was all over. What happened as a result of that? The elections came and we won 211 seats out of 294. That is 11 months ago, 12 months ago. Now, we've just had big municipal elections in, I was telling you about Darjeeling and the rest of the state, where we won bigger wins. So what is this perception battle? There is only one political party now firmly in control in Bengal because the people have seen the development on offer. This is Mamata Di. There's a battle on for who will come second. Okay. Now the bigger thing is, you'll say, Derek, these are all hollow words. But look at the hard numbers. So
I'm not saying that.
I'm not faffing around. So the perception battle is the perception battle and the real battle. Both have been won.
Whatever the situation on the ground you're saying exists in West Bengal, but what were the reasons why a Mamata Banerjee government was not ready for a CBI inquiry initially when the case came up?
Which case?
The chit fund scam.
What will the CBI do? What have the CBI done for that train accident which happened in Bengal? What have the CBI done for the Rabindranath Tagore medal which got lost? You people, you all have forgotten what the Supreme Court said about the CBI, that they're a caged parrot. Now you want the CBI as a magical wand. The CBI is an instrument of the government. Everybody knows that. And there is nothing in these cases, nothing is going to be proved. And this is, as far as we are concerned, a lot of it is sub judice, so I cannot even speak about it. But both these cases were all over while TRINAMOOL ran an election campaign saying, listen people of Bengal, listen you 10 crore people, this is what we have done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
So you...
1 minute. And the opposition were running this negative campaign. And the people came out and they made a very, very clear verdict was, Mamata Di, you're in charge with your TRINAMOOL Congress. And worse still, what happened? There was one official alliance was there between two parties, and the BJP also lost that alliance, were part of that alliance.
So when BJP party president Amit Shah says, Ebar Bangla, that this time we are going to capture West Bengal.
Oh, I wish him luck. Because if he's learned two words of...
Are there reasons for TMC to worry?
No. If people are, wishful thinking, and if he's learned 2 words of Bengal, you have to understand one thing. Nobody understands the Bengali psyche, the Bengali culture, the Bengali needs, the Bengali aspirations better than the All India TRINAMOOL Congress led by Mamata Banerjee, with a very efficient team of about 30 cabinet ministers. We have almost 50 MPs, and we have right across the state. Next year are the panchayat elections. Now you see what will happen in the panchayat elections. People, listen, a few days ago, more than about 15,000 more than that kilometers of roads were laid. You have to tour Bengal.
But
the development has happened not because this is a minority constituency or a Muslim constituency or a Hindu constituency. We don't understand the language of that. Today, what do you do? In Bengal, everyone celebrates Eid. Everyone's going to Iftar. Everyone's going to Christmas. Everyone's going to the puja.
But why is there a general perception which has been built on Mamata Banerjee government that she is on an appeasement mode, especially she tries to appease the minorities?
Of course,
this has been a general refrain.
Of course, Mamata Banerjee tries to appease. What's the problem there? She tries to appease the people of Bengal. If anyone has a problem with that, then they can take a walk. The development has happened, and this perception you keep talking about, I only know one perception. You see, eventually, it's the people who have to vote. In UP, there was an election, people have voted. In somewhere else, there will be an election, people will vote. This perception battle, which is created by a few television channels or one big multi-million dollar social thing, we used to be bothered about it at one time. Now we don't even bother too much because our focus is, and if you can say, is there a negative in what Mamata and what the Trinamool Congress does? I think yes, there is one negative. I'll tell you what that negative is. The negative is we don't blow our own trumpet. I think we should be appearing in more television programs like these and telling people that this is what has happened on the ground.
But if you look at the real picture of politics...
You know what has happened in the healthcare in Bengal?
No, actually...
One minute. This is very important because this is national.
Other important issues as well.
Let me make 2 points. 2 points. There is a new bill, now an act, which the Bengal government have brought. It's not to scare the doctors away. But today the consumer in Bengal, when you're consuming healthcare, is feeling so much more strengthened. Why? Because a private hospital can't rip you off. I'm not saying all private hospitals and all doctors are bad, but no rip off. Number 2, next now, schools, donations. Mamata Banerjee called all the schools, called out the schools by name. Doesn't matter how big the schools they were, but said, you are taking donation, you are taking donation. So these are things done for the people of Bengal. That's why they are loving it.
But what I want to ask you is that the language of politics or the direction of politics has completely changed, especially after the UP results came. We see a strange kind of a consolidation, a Hindu consolidation versus the minority consolidation, and at the same time talking about a development narrative which emerges. That is the kind of politics which we have seen emerging after the UP elections. Does that worry TMC in some way?
See, there ought to be only one narrative. Okay, and I want to use your question to give you an example. Since you talk about a communal narrative and a polarization narrative on one side and a development narrative. Mamata De's face, what you see is what you get. You get development and no communal, right? No polarization. Whereas, I'm afraid the BJP, they are double-faced.
But you are not scared.
One second. On one side, people read off the teleprompter, all 1 or 2 minutes, and I'm good, I'm glad people are, I've got no problem with the teleprompter. They read off and they give the nice bites, and they've got the BJP government, central government has these face of development. But the agenda is slightly different. So that's what I mean. What you see is what you don't get. You have to decide. So that is where this is actually the dangerous game. When you talk about D, development, but you actually mean P, which is polarization. Whereas in Mamata De's case and some other parties, what you see is what you get.
But the kind of politics, you yourself have candidly admitted on the show that she is on an appeasement mode. What's wrong with it?
Appeasement of who? Appeasement of the 9 crore people of Bengal.
Okay, appeasement of 9 crore.
Listen to me. I think every prime minister of this, when I say appeasement, every politician should try and be in appeasement mode. The prime minister of the country should be in appeasement mode to appease 1.3 billions of Indians. What is wrong in that? But the problem is when your appeasement becomes looking one way and not looking the other way. I will say this again, if appeasement of Bengal, 10 crore people in Bengal, if it means changing their lives, if it means changing the quality of their lives, if it means changing the quality of healthcare, if it means changing the quality of education, if it means giving them better roads, if it means giving them electricity, if it means giving them water, that's appeasement, and call it appeasement.
But the minority appeasement, if I talk about, was it, will you not honestly
You can't
admit,
win 211 seats in Bengal out of 294 seats by appeasing a single community. This is a narrative which you mustn't get sucked into. This is the narrative which the BJP are trying to create. Please understand, in all humility, people want you there. You are there. This is what Mamta Di teaches us. And others would have.
But you would not admit.
You would not be there if the people don't want you to be there. You know something? She is the chief minister who doesn't. They have this. What now? You're talking about VIP Lal Batti culture. It's irrelevant in Bengal because the chief minister herself doesn't take a salary. She travels in a car without a police escort. Okay, she lives. Everybody knows about. So she doesn't need a certificate. I think here is the point. You need to find the connect with the people.
So you don't agree that she has alienated the Hindu votes?
Let me put this question to you. Of course I don't agree. There's not Hindu-Muslim, there's no Hindu vote and there's no Muslim vote. But this is
the reality of today's politics.
Please understand, you need to understand one very basic issue. If I have had this conversation with you 3 months before the election, then I said wait for the elections. 12 months ago, with almost 50%, 45+% of the vote, the people of Bengal, Hindu, Muslim, Sikh, rich, poor, man, woman, transgender, everybody have decided to send 211 MLAs and actually 211, now I know I'm not being greedy, that number could have well been 230, okay. 2 parties got together officially, the third party got together with them unofficially. So we were fighting an alliance of 3 parties. Still what happened? Lok Sabha elections are coming in 2019. The problem is what? You can't parachute into Bengal, you know, like the cook coel. You can't. Didi is there. Let's see where she was. Darjeeling for 3 days, comes down, Bhangor. I have only one problem with working with Mamta Di. You know, people ask me, what's the problem? I really have one problem. I can't keep pace with her. Most of our MPs and MLAs, because Derek, she is on, she's catch me if you can, faster, development, more.
Derek, you will have to, I don't know whether you will admit it or not on the show, but there is some kind of an unease with which the Mamata Banerjee government is suffering, because you see the enhancement and the proliferation of RSS and the proliferation of BJP in certain pockets. So there is some kind of an unease. Don't you think so?
This is not about unease. Listen, we are not...
Or protecting the turf.
We are not, listen, we are not some cocky, arrogant, we can't do anything wrong, we know it all, we'll win again. It's not like that, because that is not Mamta Di and that is not the TRINAMOOL Congress. TRINAMOOL means, the word TRINAMOOL means grassroots. And if I were to add one more to describe, TRINAMOOL, grassroots do development with humility. This is the, no one has written this down as a motto or something, but grassroots do development with humility. That means we don't have to wait for the exam. You know, like the student in the exam. He won't study throughout the year. Last 2 days he'll burn the midnight oil and he'll come there in his helicopter or his plane and then learn 3 words of Bengali and say, Kya Abar Bangla or something like that.
Exactly the same statement you made. Leaders from BSP, leaders from JDU, leaders from SP, leaders from all the regional parties say that they have a very strong grassroots connect. But you've seen what is happening in Tamil Nadu, you've seen what happened in UP. So do you, my pinpointed question to you is that do you feel that the time for a single party dominance has come and the regional leaders would be a worried lot in the coming days?
See, what the SP or the BSP are going through after the UP results, you'll have to ask the SP and the BSP. But let me make 2 points here.
No, I'm talking about the general scenario which is emerging.
Let me make 2 points since you all freely use this word regional parties. What's regional? We are a national, TRINAMOOL is not a regional party. We are, by the Election Commission, we have been registered as a national party. So we are a national party. Of course, our strength is in Bengal. No 2 ways about it. All the 47, 34 and 47 MPs we have are from Bengal, right? This is number 1. So there is no a problem with that definition. How different parties handle it in politics. You know, TRINAMOOL at one time had 1 seat. Now we've got 47 seats. Benji of Mayawati now has no seats in Lok Sabha. DMK has no seats in Lok Sabha. I just came from Chennai. You watch DMK. I'll tell you I'll make this prediction on your on your channel, not as a Trinamool spokesperson, but as a student of politics. You watch the next time the elections, how the DMK does. So in politics, you win, you lose. That's part of the thing. That doesn't mean you don't, fight very strongly. And there's a second point, because now everyone's in the Champions Trophy analogy. And I'll tell you the second point is a very important point. We have 17 parties in the changing room before you go out to play a match. Now, you said SP is a little down, BSP is a little down, but Mamta Di is in that dressing room. I'm using a cricket analogy. Yeah. She's just come off a big win. She's just come off a big win. So it's now her responsibility actually, and she doesn't seek it, but to charge everybody else in the dressing room, because she's just come off this big win.
Since you say that she's charging everyone in the dressing room, so we hope to see her as one of the prime ministerial candidates for the 2019?
See, again, you're doing what I call journalistic speculation. Please understand, Mamta, I can tell you now, Mamta Di is very happy, very happy. She loves the people. Didi loves Bengal, Bengal loves Didi. And the whole country knows what her credentials are.
So we'll have to wait and watch what happens in Bengal and what happens throughout the country, the way opposition comes together. Thank you so much, Derek, for coming on the program.
Always a pleasure.
So that's it on this episode of To The Point. See you next time with another personality. Goodbye and thanks for watching.